Now I want to cover the topic of sorting. A sorting technique is a method in which we people arrange the array elements either in ascending or descending order. But before going for this topic, I must tell you how do we interchange the values of two variables or array elements. Interchanging is also called swapping. This means when we have got two variables or array elements, suppose the variables are a and b, what we want to do is we want to put the value of b into a and value of a into b. It is for performing such kind of operation, we are provided with two methods. One is using third variable, another is without using third variable. Now let me explain it with the help of an example. Suppose we have got variables with the names a and b. A has been assigned the value 100 and b has been assigned the value 200. Now we want to interchange. Now what we will do is when we use third variable method, we will be assigning the value of a, that is first variable, into temp. Temp is the third variable. So now our current value of a is 100, that will be assigned to temp. Now we are going to assign the value of b to a. What is the value of b? 200. That will be assigned to a. So value of a will become 200. And here it is very obvious that the value of a will be overwritten. Now instead of 100 it will be 200. But we won't be at loss because before performing this step we have already preserved the value of a into the third variable, that is temp. Now in the third step we are going to assign the value of temp to b. This is nothing else but the process of assigning the old value of a into b, that was 100. So the value of temp, that is 100, will be assigned to b. So you can see the values of the variables a and b, they have been interchanged, they have been swapped. Now we come to the second method, which is also very simple. This is without using third variable. In this case what I am doing is I would add up the two variables and put it into the first variable, put the result into the first variable. So in this example the value of a and b, both the sum of these both variables will come out to be 300, that is being assigned to a. As a second step we are going to write b is equal to a minus b. That means the a minus b output would be put into b. Now what is the current value of a? It is 300 right now. So value of b is 200. So it is 100, that will be assigned to b. Now in the third step we are going to write a is equal to a minus b. Now what is the current value of a? 300. Now the value of b is 100. So it will be 200, that will be assigned to a. So we have interchanged the values of a and b. So it's not necessary that you should perform this with simple variables. You can also perform this with two array elements. Now before proceeding to the next lecture, I just want to explain the logic that is applied for sorting technique. Actually there are many sorting techniques in all the programming languages, with bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort, then we have got quick sort, radix sort, etc. But right now we will be discussing only bubble sort. The logic of bubble sort goes like this. We are supposed to compare the adjacent elements, neighboring elements. First element is compared with the second, and if the first element is bigger than the second one, then interchanging takes place. I am talking about sorting in ascending order, and we can do it for descending order also. Now see, in this example, value of the first element R0 happens to be 20 and that of R1 is 10. So that means we need interchanging. The smaller value should go up. So 10 will go up, 20 will go down. Now the new value of R0 is 10, or that of R1 is 20. Now we will proceed further and we will compare R1 with R2. That is, we are going to compare the second element with the third one. Again we need to go for interchanging. Why? Because the first element R1 happens to be bigger than the second element, that is R2. Now the value of add2 will go up and the value of add1 will come down after interchanging. Now to proceed further, we are supposed to compare add2 with add3. That means we are going to compare third element with the fourth one. Again we need to interchange. 5 will go up and your 5 will go up and 20 will come down. And after this what we will do is we will compare add3 with add4. That is, fourth element is being compared with fifth element. Again interchanging is required. 1 will go up, 20 will come down. Now see, in any sorting technique the process is somewhat complex and it is always performed using various stages, or we can call phases. Technically they are called passes. So we have finished with the first pass. After completing with the first pass, what we have achieved is the biggest element in this array will be settling down to the last location. As you can see, 20 was the biggest element in this array, and after the completion of the first pass, that is first stage, it has come down at the bottom. So in the when we will move over to the next pass, that is second pass, there is no need to compare this last element because it has already been settled at its appropriate location, that was the last location. So in the second pass we are going to perform in the same way, but we will be leaving out the last element. We are comparing add0 with add1. Again interchanging is required. Then we will compare add1 with add2. Interchanging is required. Then we'll compare add2 and add3. Interchanging is required, and we will go on like this. Now we don't need to compare add3 with add4. So after the completion of the second pass, you can clearly see that we people what we have achieved is the second biggest element has been settled at the second last location. And that means in the third pass I need not compare the second last element also. So in the third pass I will leave out the last two elements. So I need to compare only first elements from add0 to add2, first three elements. So add0 would be compared with add1 and add1 will be compared with add2. Again after the completion of this pass and appropriate interchanging, what we will achieve is the third biggest element will be settled at the third last location. And finally we will reach the last pass in which we need to compare only add0 and add1 because rest of the three elements viz add2, add3 and add4, they are already sorted. So in this case interchanging is required. add0 will contain 5 and add0 will contain 1 and add1 will contain 5 after proper interchanging. So what we conclude is in bubble sort there are total number of n minus 1 passes. So here I have n is nothing else but the total number of elements of the array, that is size of the array. And what you can see is in each successive pass the number of comparisons keep decreasing by 1. For example, in the first pass the value of n is 5, that is total number of elements are 5. In the first pass there were 4 comparisons. In the next pass, second pass, there were only 3 comparisons. In the third pass there were only 2 comparisons, and in the last pass there was only 1 comparison. So in each successive pass the number of comparisons keep decreasing by 1. Now in the next lecture I am going to write down the program of bubble sort.